Welcome into today's edition of Just the Truth. Glad to have you join me in the PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition Studio. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. Lots to cover today. Breaking news, the House has voted to formalize its impeachment inquiry into President Biden. We have all the details for you. Famous country artist Luke Combs is promising to rectify a lawsuit filed against a fan of the country star, saying he had nothing to do with the litigation and he's going to make it right. Boston Democrat mayor has come under fire after she sent out invitations for a holiday party intended only for minority city councilors, no whites allowed. Imagine the reaction had a white mayor done likewise. Former Obama advisor David Axelrod says that polls showing Biden at record low approval is very, very dark for Democrats. And the Supreme Court announced yesterday that it will be examining a case involving the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot that could spell trouble for the federal charges against former President Donald Trump. Plus, your text messages on the Truth text line, 864-477-5639, 864-477-JOEY. You can leave a voice message as well, and your emails are always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com.
I told you we'd be back.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
It's Joey Hudson.
I wanted to name it the Joey Hudson bill, but, they don't allow you to put names on bills, but I wanted to call it the Joey Hudson bill because I know that one's been near and dear to you for a number of years.
That's how it's done. Let your voice be heard.
And the truth shall set you free.
Here's Joey Hudson.
On this vote, the yeas are 221 and the nays are 212. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
And it is official. The House has voted to formalize its impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden, taking a critical step that GOP leaders have argued is necessary to force the White House into complying with their investigation. The measure passed 221 votes to 212. Every single Republican voted in favor of it, and all present Democrats voted against. There was some light cheering heard on the GOP side of the chamber after the measure passed, with pin drop silence on the Democrat side, as you can imagine. Just prior to the vote, Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer on the House floor told his colleagues that they are at a pivotal point in the investigation.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to support House Resolution 918. Joe Biden has repeatedly lied to the American people about his family's corrupt influence peddling schemes. He told the American people he never spoke to his son about his family's business dealings. He claimed there was an absolute wall between his official government duties as vice president and his family. He said his family never made money from China. All of these are blatant lies. Our investigation has revealed how Joe Biden knew of, participated in, and benefited from his family cashing in on the Biden name around the world.
Representative James Comer yesterday on the House floor just prior to the vote. The GOP-led Committee on Oversight, Ways and Means, and Judiciary have been investigating Biden, as you know, over accusations that he has leveraged his office of the vice presidency in the Obama administration to enrich his family through foreign businesses. It's been heavily centered on one of the president's brothers, James Biden, and his son, Hunter Biden, of course, who under federal investigation for tax and firearm-related charges also appeared at the Capitol yesterday. I'll have that for you here in just a moment. Former Speaker Kevin McCarthy directed the House to open an impeachment inquiry into Biden back last September, but the White House has dismissed the probe as illegitimate without a formal vote on the matter. Well, they took a formal vote today. House Majority Whip Tom Emmer, Republican from Minnesota, told Fox News Digital that the White House requested the House vote itself, saying in a statement, the White House has sent a letter saying that the subpoenas had served will not be honored and won't even be recognized without a full vote of the House. So our speaker has done exactly what I would expect he would do as a lawyer. We're going to honor that. We're going ahead and do a full floor vote, Emmer said. He knows we're probably going to have to go to court to enforce these anyway, so might as well eliminate any of the objections that they have. Representative Marinette Miller Meeks, a Republican from Iowa, said that Republicans were undertaking their vote because they recognized the gravity of impeachment proceedings. Judiciary member Representative Ben Cline also agreed, saying, I think the House Republicans will follow the facts where they lead. We'll make sure that we have the facts and that we present the facts to the American people. Also speaking out, Florida Representative Byron Donalds spoke just before the vote, laying out the evidence he believes shows that Joe Biden and his family have broken the law.
Sarah Biden writes a check to herself, and then $40,000 is in a check to Joseph Robinette Biden, the president of the United States. That's your evidence. If you want to talk crime, bribery, co-conspirator to being to FARA violations, and we can go on and on.
In a statement following the vote, Joe Biden accused House Republicans of wasting time with political attacks and avoiding critical issues facing the nation. He said, we have to address the situation at our southern border, and I'm determined to try to fix the problem. We need funding to strengthen border security, but Republicans in Congress won't act to help. Now, boy, that took some nerve for Joe Biden to come down on the Republicans for voting to formalize the impeachment inquiry, because he won't answer their subpoenas, because he will not cooperate. He could make this a lot easier, but he throws out the idea that he now is very interested in securing our border and that this impeachment will get in the way. Does he think we're actually going to buy that argument? Then Biden pivoted to some of the old campaign talking points, saying that he also is working to make sure inflation keeps going down and job growth keeps going up, but accused Congress of refusing to help. He said in the statement, instead of doing anything to help Americans' lives better, they are focused on attacking me with lies. Instead of doing their job on the urgent work that needs to be done, they're choosing to waste time on this baseless political stunt that even Republicans in Congress admit is not supported by facts. Well, which Republicans is he referring to? Again, every single Republican in the U.S. House voted in favor of the impeachment inquiry. Again, what nerve of Biden to talk about, oh, he's going to work on inflation, he's going to work on securing the border, when he has done everything but that in the over 3 years that he's been in the Oval Office. So now he's suddenly gotten interested in securing the border. Of course, the vote comes hours after Hunter Biden made a surprise appearance outside of the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday morning. I wonder who orchestrated this. Have you heard about this? Have you heard about Hunter Biden showing up on the steps of the Capitol? Who do you think arranged this for him? I'm going to go out on a limb here and suggest that probably some of Biden's political operatives, maybe even some in the White House, helped orchestrate this protest from Hunter Biden yesterday. Hunter Biden, that is, had been scheduled to appear for a closed-door deposition with the Oversight Committee, but instead he delivered a brief statement to reporters on his father's professed innocence before departing Capitol Hill altogether.
For 6 years, I have been the target of the unrelenting Trump attack machine, shouting, "Where's Hunter?" Well, here's my answer. I am here. There is no evidence to support the allegations that my father was financially involved in my business, because it did not happen. There is no fairness or decency in what these Republicans are doing. They have lied over and over about every aspect of my personal and professional life. They displayed naked photos of me during an oversight hearing, and they have taken the light of my dad's love, for me, and presented it as darkness. They have no shame. I am here to testify at a public hearing today to answer any of the committee's legitimate questions.
Oh yeah, he staged that little emotional scene there where he paused and pretended for his eyes to kind of water up a bit. You know, that was the first time that I really recall hearing Hunter Biden's voice. Had I not seen the video and had saw that it was actually Hunter Biden standing there, I'm not sure that I would recognize what his voice sounds like, because he never talks. He never speaks. Sounded a little bit like Pee Wee Herman, didn't he? I mean, he just doesn't sound like what I thought he would. That's just sort of a side note there. But had you ever thought about what Hunter Biden sounds like? Because, again, I don't know that I've really ever – I've seen many, many images of him, video of him, but he never talks. But there again, just like his dad in his dad's statement today, Hunter Biden casting the stones back at the Republicans, he talked about, well, you know, they showed naked photos of me. Well, Hunter, how did those naked photos come about? Because you were high on crack, out of your mind, and allowed somebody to take photos of you. If you don't want naked photos to get out into the public, don't allow yourself to be in naked photos. It's just that simple. Stay off the crack. Stop hiring the prostitutes. Anybody who can see the flow of money coming in to Hunter Biden knows that something was fishy about the whole affair. No way did Hunter Biden earn the millions and millions of dollars, and there's probably money we don't even know about, but millions that we know were transferred to his bank accounts, these many, many LLCs, these shells of a company. For what? For his expertise on what? What is he an expert on? Following the successful vote in the House today to, again, to make the impeachment formal, Representative Comer and House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan also made a joint press conference speaking with reporters just outside of the Capitol.
All right. Well, I think we've made our point very clear today. Evidence uncovered has shown a very disturbing trend by the Biden family. We've spent months in this investigation accumulating evidence. We have a simple question that I think an overwhelming majority of Americans have. What did the Bidens do to receive the tens of millions of dollars from our enemies around the world? Today's unanimous vote by our conference showed that we are united as a conference. We expect to have people honor our subpoenas. We want to wrap this investigation up, but obviously you get to the deposition phase before you wrap up an investigation. So that's where we are. We're very pleased with the vote today. I think that sent a message loud and clear to the White House. We expect you to comply with our information requests and our subpoenas. With that, I'll turn it over to Chairman Jordan.
Yeah, I would just say that the House has now spoken, and I think pretty loudly, pretty clearly, with every single Republican voting in favor of moving into this official impeachment inquiry phase of our constitutional duty to do oversight. So when a majority of the House goes on record in support of an official impeachment inquiry with the power that resides solely in the House of Representatives, this impeachment power, I think that sends a message. And as Chairman Comer just pointed out, we now think this helps us get the witnesses, the key witnesses that we want. There were three names mentioned in the resolutions, 918, 917 resolutions, three names. One, of course, was the President of the United States, Joe Biden. The other two names are two lawyers we want to talk to. I said this on the House floor, who DOJ is refusing to allow us to talk to, Mark Daley and Jack Morgan. We think it'll help us get those key individuals in to speak to us in a more timely fashion and get us the documents that Mr. Comer has been after for a while. So we think this is a strong message from the House, a strong message from the Republican conference, and that every single member voted for it. Thank you all very much. Elizabeth Cannon.
What information are y'all waiting on that y'all have not received from NARA or the White House?
Jamie can talk to that, but as far as witnesses go, I've said this many times, we want to talk to all the partners. We want to talk to Rob Walker, Eric Schwerin, Tony Bobolinsky, Jim Biden. We want to talk to the guy who paid his taxes, Kevin Morris, paid Hunter Biden's taxes. We have Ms. Wolf who's coming in. We're getting a chance to talk to her soon. And then we want to talk to Sally Painter and Tramontana, who were with Blue Star Strategies. All these individuals are important. And then we still want to talk to Hunter Biden. But we want to talk to we'd like to talk to them in, frankly, that order.
There are 5,000 roughly emails in the pseudonyms. The National Archives has sent about 1,200 pages of that. So they're, a third of the way through. We know these pseudonym emails are important because I believe they were mentioned in the indictment in California. So we expect to get these. Obviously, they're an important part of the investigation. We've asked to speak with Dana Remus and others in the White House, and they were told not to come. So it's very clear the White House has been obstructing our investigation. I think the message sent today is very loud and clear. We expect them to comply.
Thank you.
Representative James Comer and Representative Jim Jordan yesterday following the successful vote of the U.S. House of Representatives. Your comments are welcome on the Truth Text line, 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Leave a quick voice message. Your emails are welcome at joey@joeyhudson.com. Also yesterday, the U.S. Supreme Court announced that it will examine a case involving the January 6th Capitol riot that could spell trouble for the federal charges against former President Donald Trump. So here's what's at issue here. The case of Joseph Fisher. He's a former Pennsylvania police officer who allegedly got physical with an officer on the grounds at the U.S. Capitol and called on rioters to, quote, hold the line. A lower court judge has dismissed the charge of obstructing an official proceeding against Fisher and two other defendants, Edward Lang and Garrett Miller, ruling it didn't cover their conduct and that the men had to take some action with respect to a document, record, or other object. Now, the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals restored the charge back in April, ruling which Fisher's legal team is appealing to the high court, arguing their client only entered the building after Congress recessed and was only inside for a brief period. Prosecutors have used the obstruction of an official proceeding charges against at least 350 of the protesters, including 77-year-old former President Donald Trump, who faces up to 20 years in prison if convicted on that count. Many of the January 6 defendants have other charges pending against them as well. Fisher, for example, is accused of civil disorder, resisting arrest, and entering a restricted building, among other counts that are pending against him. Defense attorney Kyra Ann West, who has represented several of the January 6 defendants charged with obstruction of an official proceeding, told the Associated Press that the courts will have to undo a whole bunch of cases and adjust many sentences if the Supreme Court rules in Fisher's favor. I mean, this could truly create chaos in a good way for some of the J6ers if the Supreme Court sides with them. She went on to say, this is a watershed day in our world, defense lawyer world. This is huge. Trump, of course, faces other charges, conspiracy to violate civil rights and conspiracy to defraud the U.S. government. The former president's pleaded not guilty and denied wrongdoing. He's also facing 87 other counts spanning 3 separate criminal cases. The justices are expected to hold oral arguments in March or April of next year, with a decision due by the end of the term, which is in late June. Earlier this week, the High Court agreed to fast-track a ruling on whether presidential immunity shields President Trump from prosecution in the federal 2020 election case. Special counsel Jack Smith had asked the court to rule by December the 18th, which, of course, is next week, to avoid delays to the trial in that case, which is currently slated to commence March the 4th of next year. The justices have given Trump's legal team until December the 20th to respond. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan ruled earlier this month that Trump was not immune from prosecution. A decision from the High Court in that matter could also have implications for a similar case brought against former President Trump by prosecutors down in Georgia as well. Interesting case going on, or story, I should say, in Boston, where their Democrat mayor has come under fire after she sent out invitations, you ready for this? For a holiday party intended only for minority city councilors. Michelle Wu is the city's first Asian American mayor. She recently had her aide, Denise Dos Santos, send out an email for the event. The email said, this according to the Boston Herald, "Honorable members, on behalf of Mayor Michelle Wu, I cordially invite you and a guest to the Electeds of Color holiday party." The city leader quickly drew criticism after it became apparent that the email was sent to all city councilors, 7 of whom are white. The invitation was meant only for the city's 6 councilors of color, we have learned. 15 minutes after the email was sent out, Dos Santos apologized and clarified that the invitation was only meant for minority city councilors. However, she did not apologize for planning a party that excluded white city leaders. DeSantos wrote, I wanted to apologize for my previous email regarding a holiday party for tomorrow. I did send that to everyone by accident, and I apologize if my email may have offended or came across as so. Sorry for any confusion this may have caused. The revelation about the holiday party quickly received responses from Boston's city council. Outgoing city councilor Frank Baker, who is a white man, called the mayor's exclusion of certain members unfortunate and divisive. Citing recent tensions on the city council, Baker did not speculate about the reasoning behind the mayor's decision to host the party. Look, you don't have to speculate. It's very clear. She was discriminating. She didn't want white people at her party. I mean, just imagine for a moment if this were the other way around. If a white mayor had planned a holiday party for white people only, how would the other councilors of the Boston City Council respond to that? Citing recent tensions on the city council, this Baker said, I find it unfortunate that with the temperature the way it is, that we would further division. Baker said he was not personally insulted by the decision. Said, I don't really get offended too easily. To offend me, you're going to have to do much more than invite me to to not invite me to a party. Now, black city councilor Brian Worrell held a different opinion and defended the invitation, suggesting that the holiday party was merely a way to represent all kinds of special groups in the Boston government. Well, if you're interested in representing all kinds of special groups, why wouldn't you invite everybody? He said, we make space and spaces for all kinds of specific groups in the city and city government. This is no different, and the elected officials of color has been around for more than a decade, Worrell said in a statement. He also stressed that DeSantos had no ill will when sending the email. Five-term Boston City Councilor Michael McCormick said that the party was not typical of the mayor's office and said former city leaders would have invited the entire chamber. McCormick said, the problem is that Boston and race, unfortunately, are synonymous. I'm just hoping it was a mistake. It's not something that anyone in the mayor's office should be proud of. Well, it's not a mistake if in your apology, you apologize for getting caught, basically. Because she didn't apologize for the fact that she is having, and I think the party has already happened, a party of people of color only. Yesterday, WU spokesperson Ricardo Patron said that the Electeds of Color group had asked the mayor to host the annual party. He stressed the event was just one of several happening throughout the season. WU is planning a holiday party for all cabinet members, city councilors, and the legislature next week, according to her spokesperson. Saying he had nothing to do with the litigation and is actually going to help this lady with her medical bills, country music star Luke Combs posted a video on social media yesterday explaining this bizarre case involving a lawsuit. Before we get into that, though, let me tell you about PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. Over 3 years ago now, I started the program because I wanted to lose a few pounds. Met Dr. Ashley Lucas and the team at PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition in their Greenville office. They have offices in Asheville, Charlotte, Lake Norman. And boy, did they change my life. I am so glad that I made that first call to Dr. Ashley Lucas because I lost 30 pounds pretty quickly, and I've been able to maintain that weight loss for over 3 years now. And I credit that to the fact that PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition is not a diet. It's not a fad diet. It is a lifestyle change, and it's all based on the science of nutrition. They'll talk with you about what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat, and it has changed my life. It'll change yours too. Let me encourage you to make that first call today, 864-252-4925, 864-252-4925. You can go online at myphdweightloss.com, myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition, the official partner of the Clemson Tigers. So here's the story. Country singer Luke Combs posted a video to social media yesterday explaining that a fan named Nicole Harness, who was selling tumblers with his photo on it, didn't deserve to be sued by his team. He stepped up immediately to make amends and expressed deep concerns after learning that a $250,000 judgment had been rendered against her without his knowledge. Combs explained in this this video that he posted on several social media sites. He said, "I was completely and utterly unaware of this situation."
7:27 a.m. here in Tennessee. I woke up at 5 a.m. to use the restroom, and the first thing I saw was this. A woman that's being sued by me for $250,000. I spent the last 2 hours trying to make this right, trying to figure out what's going on, because I was completely and utterly unaware of this. So we reached out. Firstly, my manager reached out to this news station that ran this piece to try to get some info. And so we do have a company that goes after folks, only supposedly large corporations operating internationally that make millions and millions of dollars, making counterfeit T-shirts, things of that nature, running illegal businesses. And apparently this woman, Nicole, has somehow gotten wrapped into that. And that makes me absolutely sick to my stomach. So I was able to get Nicole's phone number. I spoke to her this morning. She told me that, you know, she was absolutely shocked by this. I'm so apologetic. Talking to her, it makes me sick, honestly, that this would happen, especially at the holidays. I can't imagine being in her shoes. She told me there's $5,500 locked up in her Amazon account. I'm going to double that, send her $11,000 today, just so she doesn't have anything to worry about. She was never supposed to be involved in anything like this. No fan should ever have to be involved in anything like this. And she got in trouble apparently for making tumblers. So I'm going to make my own tumbler today. That's going to go up today. I'll keep you posted on that. But all that money is going to go to Nicole and her family to try to help with her medical bills. Hopefully that can help her out. And again, this is unbelievable. I was completely shocked when I saw this morning. It makes me sick. This is not something that I would ever do. This is not the kind of person I am. I'm not greedy in any way, shape, or form. Money is the last thing on my mind. I promise you guys that. And I invited Nicole and her family out to a show this year so I could give her a hug and say sorry in person. And yeah, I love you guys. I just wanted to clear that up, man, because it makes me sick for anybody to be thinking that I'm this kind of person, because I'm the farthest thing from it. So love you guys, and I'll keep you posted.
According to the story, Harness reportedly sold 18 tumblers. They were handmade with Combs' likeness on them for a total of $380. This, according to the story out of Variety. Combs said that he became aware of the litigation after seeing Harness's plea for help on a WFLA news report out of Tampa. In the news clip, Harness said that she learned of the litigation against her when she received notice of a $250,000 fine days after she returned from a hospital stay for congestive heart failure. Harness said in her WFLA interview, "I just wanted this resolved. I didn't mean any harm to Luke Combs. I quit selling the tumbler. I pulled it down. I just don't understand." The famous country star handled the matter directly and immediately sprung into action, as you heard him say, saying that his team's decision to litigate was not a reflection on him in any way. Yeah, and look, I can see how that could happen. The stars at that level, anything with their likeness, whether it's a T-shirt, a tumbler, a coffee mug, or whatever, you have to be licensed to sell. It sounds like to me, though, that this lady just got caught up in something that she didn't realize she was doing anything wrong. And kudos to him for taking this action and helping someone in this situation. I have a whole new respect for Luke Combs. On the Truth text line, Tony writes, "Joey, I read where Democrats are going to come out in droves to vote for her just to keep Trump off the ballot." And he means her, Nikki Haley he's speaking of, because they know that she won't win the nomination without them. That tells me everything I know about Nikki, and I quit voting for rhinos. Jeff writes, "I vote for the Republican I think is the best. I don't care who endorses him or her." This in response to New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu endorsing Nikki Haley earlier this week. Bob from Little Rock, "Joey, in regards to endorsements for Nikki Haley, it depends on integrity. Governor McMaster has great integrity and impacts South Carolina. Governor Sanders from Arkansas and Governor Abbott from Texas do as well. This is why Nikki will never be president, and she is given minimal consideration for vice president. Bottom line, Governor Sununu will only help Haley about 1% or less. Bob, it's going to be interesting to see just how New Hampshire plays out. And by the way, again, I'm going to be there. I'm headed to Iowa in January and to New Hampshire to bring you a firsthand story as we get into the 2024 presidential race. Faye writes on the Truth text line, Haley is a storyteller. Her nose will get longer. She speaks and then denies what she says. Bad idea to have her as vice president. Where do I sign up to protest? She's anything but a red-blooded Constitution-believing person. So thankful for your podcast. Well, thank you, Faye. I appreciate you listening. Bobby writes, good morning, Joey. The more I hear about Nikki Haley, the more I'm convinced that she's a Democrat in Republican clothing. One thing is what she's saying about registering to go on the internet. That was an idea Obama was throwing around. Would she be Obama's fourth term? ? Miss you on the radio, but I'm happy I get to listen to you on your podcast. Well, thank you, Bobby. I'm glad you're joining us on Just the Truth as well. From the email inbox, Joey, why is it not constitutional when New York politicians want to do a redistricting that's going to turn 6 Republican seats into now Democrat seats, but when Republicans want to do it, like in Alabama, South Carolina, Mississippi, it's not constitutional. And again, Republicans do nothing about it. And what is it with all these Republicans not seeking re-election? Are they wanting Democrats to win these seats? 3 in Kentucky are leaving, and the way the last election went in Kentucky, I'm not going to go well for Republicans, he says. Glad to have your emails and your text messages on the Truth text line, 864-477-5639, and, of course, Joey at joeyhudson.com. Former Obama advisor David Axelrod, who has given a lot of credit to getting Obama into the White House, says that polls showing Biden at record low approval is very, very dark for Joe Biden. Portions of the Today Show brought to you by Discounted Appliance Warehouse. Are you tired of buying appliances from inexperienced sales staff who have absolutely no idea what they're talking about when it comes to appliances? Are you tired of going into the big shiny box stores where no one's there to help you? Well, let me encourage you to take the short drive to Pickens, to Discounted Appliance Warehouse, where Jeff and Johnny and the whole team will take care of you like they've been taking care of me for many years now. It's the only place I buy appliances. They treat you just like family because you're more than a credit card swipe at Discounted Appliance Warehouse. They have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, nearly perfect reviews on Google, and the team at Discounted Appliance Warehouse, and this is important, they have the knowledge you need to have the confidence in your purchase, that you purchased the right appliance. Let me encourage you to take that short drive if you need a new refrigerator, washer, dryer, dishwasher, whatever it is, a new microwave. Head over to Pickens to Discounted Appliance Warehouse. Discounted Appliance Warehouse. Find them online as well at dawpickens.com, dawpickens.com. So not such good news from former Obama senior advisor David Axelrod, who commented on a recent Wall Street Journal poll that puts President Biden's approval figures at a record low, saying that it was very, very dark for his reelection campaign. Axelrod made the comments during the Hacks on Tap podcast alongside political consultant Mike Murphy and former Obama White House press secretary Robert Gibbs. The Wall Street Journal poll Axelrod was discussing has former President Donald Trump leading Biden 47% to 43% in a hypothetical with 2 people on the ballot. Trump leads 37 to 31 in a hypothetical ballot with 5 independent candidates also listed. Biden's job approval is at 37%, a new record low for the Wall Street Journal poll, and 61% of those who responded see the president's overall image in a negative light. Axelrod said on the podcast, job approval down, ratings generally down, most of the comparatives with Trump not good. What I worry about, you guys, from a Biden standpoint, is these are the kinds of things you get when people are starting to rationalize their votes. And they just put out another photo op with a Bidenomics sign next to him. It's just unbelievable to me, he added. On most issues such as the economy, border security, and inflation, respondents to the poll sided with Trump. Only on the issue of abortion did Biden beat Trump. The Wall Street Journal poll surveyed 1,500 registered voters between November 29th and December the 4th with a margin of error of plus or minus 2.5%. Listen, when David Axelrod starts doubting you as a Democrat candidate and your likelihood of success, you need to start losing sleep at night. That's it for today's edition of Just the Truth. Appreciate you joining me in the PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition Studio. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. By the way, if you haven't joined our mailing list yet, visit my website. Go to joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails with the most up-to-date news. Thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Keep your comments coming via the Truth text line, 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639, and keep those emails coming as well, joey@joeyhudson.com. Have a wonderful day. We're back again tomorrow. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.